This is my first live, so we were just sort of
One
trying to.
person is, oh my God, there's more than
Then
one
there's
people.
more than what there.
Wait, there's
Whoa,
people. People
there's actually people in here.
are,
Wow,
they
there's.
love
I'm
us. They
so
love us.
flattered. Yeah, we had a hard time setting up, making things. Things are all a little all over the place, but
We were
but
trying to
yeah.
make it perfect, but that's not what this is for. This Substack isn't for perfection. It's for
Right, and
experimentation.
experimentation, and that's what my hair's wet.
My hair's wet too.
No way.
Yeah.
I took a shower and I just didn't have time to blow dry it.
I
So
don't know
now
who
it's
has
like,
time to blow dry their
there's no
hair.
time to blow dry. Exactly.
Crazy.
So, oh my
What's going
God.
on? What do you want to
Well,
talk about
I'm just
today?
so excited to finally meet you. I'm trying to remember how I first stumbled upon your work or your Instagram, or because I know I reached out to you and I'm just trying to remember how that happened. But I remember just being so like moved and impressed by your writing. So I was like, I have to reach out to her.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of your writing.
Oh, thank
It all
you.
worked out.
I know, exactly. And, I mean, I kind of took a break from like writing about, sex for a bit. Like I as the former sex columnist for the New York Observer, which was kind of a crazy job. And, now I'm sort of kind of tiptoeing back into it a little bit. I think there's always a layer of like desire and sexuality and sex in my writing, but like as a former sex columnist, my job was to write about sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Why
like,
did you stop being a sex columnist?
well, I was engaged at one point and it was just sort of hard to like write about,
Yeah, I get it.
it was just sort
I'm
of like
always like, I wonder if my writing's going to change when I'm in a relationship, at least my personal,
well, and I
private
think
stuff.
on some level it actually like, I wasn't having relationships in part because like the writing for me was just so much more compelling. Like I just like every like life became art in some way. And it's hard when you're like, trying to create and at the same time there's like amazing material and it's hard. So at a certain point though, I think I was just ready. I'd done it for 6 years from like 2013 to 2000 wait, 18? That's 6 years.
That's a long
No, that's
time.
that's not 6 years. But anyway,
A long
I
time
had
though.
I had done it for quite some time, and then I spoke up in the Me Too movement.
Hmm.
So I went from like being a sex columnist to like speaking up about being sexually assaulted. So that was like this really weird dynamic from like going from like actually, kind of a more playful approach. Although I do think I covered some gray areas, and I think you do too, like these sort of power dynamics and like I just recently read Rat Face, which was, yeah, like all of these different where you're sort of like you were 16 and
Right.
you were in
And
this
I thought
relationship.
I was seducing this 30-year-old man. And it's like, looking back, that's bananas.
I
Yeah, it
know.
is very gray. I mean, I'm always interested in the nuance and the gray areas and the stuff that isn't just like, I mean, life isn't just, one or the other, or black or white or binary. It's like, especially with sex, it's so like deep and weird and interesting. And
Well, I feel like sometimes what's so like desire and sex and all the power dynamics and all these things, like, I feel like we're all like, it's all about everyone on some level, I feel like wants to connect, wants that feeling of like connection and oneness. And these are ways and avenues to explore them. There for me, it's almost like some of the most human moments are these like the dance. Like it's just this sort of, and I just think it's such a great way to capture that, the awkwardness, the longing, the desire, the fear. It's like all wrapped up into it. And I feel like sometimes when we're on our own, we work on ourselves, but sometimes in relationships, it's like, or when you're with another person, that's where like things really start to like, you really start to tango and learn.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, I just feel like since I was young, and I'm this is maybe a scary thing to say because it could be very much taken out of context, but like I've always been driven by sex. I've been motivated by sex. I've been interested in sex. I think sex is interesting, and I've always wanted to be sexy and sexual, and I just think like it's such a big part of like my persona, but also like just who I am. And I don't know if everyone operates that way, but I almost am like, well, what else is there? It's just
Right,
sex and death.
exactly.
Those are the
Right.
two most
Yes.
interesting things out.
I totally agree. And at death, at funerals, evidently there's like some of the most sex because sex is about being alive. So it's the opposite of death. It's about
It's like
birth and
the most
creation.
interesting thing you can do with your body with another
Right.
person. And
I
it can involve
know.
like relationships, and it's just so like
And it can
tangled.
also, yeah, and it can also like involve so many different kind of vibrations or level. Like you can kind of go into that darker place or like an almost like super spiritual place. So it's sort of like life. There are all these different levels that you can play with and explore, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna say I kind of have a little bit of an opposite relationship with sex. I grew up almost a little bit afraid of it because my parents are artists and my mom had like Robert Mapplethorpe books in the house and like she would paint penises on the walls and like I was horrified. But at the same time, like I was literally like, sometimes you were attracted to what we're terrified of. So either
Yeah.
you love, and so
I like
I
things that are
had
gross and scary.
yeah, yeah. And so it's sort of like sometimes you're pulled towards things that you don't fully understand. And so that was a big part of my like kind of growing up was sort of understanding sexuality and sex and power and beauty as, like as a woman and what that means and all of these different levels. So I kind of have this like strange, like prudish aspect to me. And then I also have this like kind of Lilith, like super intense, like, like kind of real sexual side. So it's sort of, I have to sometimes balance those two, you
I
know?
mean, I think I kind of have that in a sense too. I think people think I'm just like this like wildly openly sexual person, but like in reality, I'm fairly reserved and like vanilla and kind of normal when it comes to like what I'm actually like into. But I just have a very like exploratory nature, but it doesn't go where people think it's gonna go. Like, I'm not, like, as,
Yeah.
like, kinky as maybe people would think I am, or even as open, and I am kind of like Pollyanna and, like, as now that I'm, almost 8 years sober from alcohol, like, I am far more prude. Far, far,
Yeah.
far, far,
Well,
far.
I think that the thing is like people have a tendency to pigeonhole people as like, Madonna, whore, this, that, like all these different archetypes. And women can be all of those things. And so, like, when you're out there and you're, writing about sex, people perceive you as
Yeah.
being that. And so I've gone on dates or like been in relationships where people are like, wow, you were so like like I'm like they have a side of me that's like a total little kid and totally not like, I read what is something that you posted like as soon as like people get past like, I don't know, I'm gonna mess this up. The cat on the outside, they're gonna see that I'm a puppy, like a
Yeah, the
golden
golden
retriever on the
retriever
inside.
inside, yeah. I mean,
Exactly,
honestly, it's
exactly.
the black cat exterior is, like, goals because I don't want people to know how, like, nice and, like, sweet I am. I'm like, "Don't do
Right.
not mistaken my kindness for weakness," kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, totally,
So I'm
totally.
trying
Yeah.
to be more of a black cat, but that's not it's more that's aspirational.
Mhm. Mhm.
When you were doing your sex column, was it all personal stories about you, or did you, like, write about your friends too, or what were you
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't keep up, like, with, so
That's a
I wrote a
lot.
lot. Yeah, I
Was
mean,
it
it was
weekly?
fortunate no, fortunately, it was monthly, so I
Okay.
had a little bit of time, but yeah, I would definitely write about my friends and, I'm not sure if you were supposed to do this, but, I would sometimes kind of, like, create composite characters, like,
I think
from a
everyone does that.
situation. Yeah, I don't know that,
Yeah.
but I mean, I couldn't, like and also you kind of have to do that sometimes to, like, protect people's identity. Like you have
Exactly.
these great
Exactly.
stories, but like you have to put them in different situations. So
Yeah.
I did that. And but yeah, it was, and at that time, like Girls was like on air. So it was like, I really tried to like everywhere, like throw in a blowjob, throw in a like, this, or like, just try and like, or I'd be writing about something that was like really meaningful. And then I'd throw in like a sex act because I was like, well, this is about sex, but I want to write about my dead grandmother.
Yeah, yeah,
So like,
yeah.
it just sort of, you kind of like,
But I
yeah, it was
also
really
like
interesting.
that trick in writing in general is like, even if I'm writing something sort of tame, like I want to throw in some little thing that's like deeply personal or like a secret or like something that you're not expecting or you wouldn't normally say just because it's just hooky and interesting and yeah, even if you're writing about your dead grandma, like there's always an aspect of your
Right.
life or sex that has something to do with it because it's just everywhere.
Yeah, or like, throwing the reader like, it's I think it's easy to kind of like fetishize the sex columnist or to sort of and then throwing in a detail that really humanizes you. You know what I mean? Like I think I read one of your first things that I read. There was something about like you had like something a sty in your eye or something.
Yeah.
And like, you write this like super sexy, thing, and then you talk about the sty in your eye. And it's sort of like, remember, like, I'm human. Like, I'm not just this sort of like titillating, weekly columnist that you read. I'm also like, I'm full, and so
Sometimes
I
I go
love that.
out of my way to
Me
be
too.
gross
Me too.
so that yeah, so that people can remember that I'm human and I'm not perfect and I'm not just like this, persona that people see in the palm of their hands and and that yeah, like
Totally.
it's so many times I've like in my real life have met men that have seen me on the internet and then they just are so disappointed to find out that I'm just real and that I have like
Yes.
shit just like everyone else has and I shit just like everyone else.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, I think there's a guy I once knew who was like, I thought you shit like rose petals. I mean, I obviously
I
was
mean,
joking, but I
that is
really
so
do think,
immature.
yeah, it's so immature because it's like it really kind of just reinforces that idea of like putting a woman on a pedestal, and that also is really stressful as a woman because the drop, the fall is far and painful when
Yeah.
you like crash.
Don't you wanna be put on a pedestal, like, a little bit, though? But, like
I mean, I want to be like, okay, that's a good question. Okay, like a half, like maybe take turn, like go up on a pedestal, and then like kind of go back down to the ground. Like that could be nice, like taking breaks. Going up, going down a little. I don't know. That sounds like
like,
a lot of activity.
I wanna be able to, like, fart in front of somebody and then still be on the pedestal. Like,
Right?
I don't think I've ever done that, by the way, which is so crazy and so, like, oh, obviously, I'm, like,
Yeah.
was born in the '80s because that seems, like, silly nowadays, but
Does it? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever like allowed myself to just fart in front of someone. Like you know.
I love that this is where our conversation is going.
Actually, I
Have you
do
ever
think.
farted in front of a man? I don't think I
Actually, my
have.
first college boyfriend, I farted. I forgot about that. Yeah. So, yeah, but not since,
One
not
time?
since. I can't remember, but I do remember like the bathroom doors were open. Like it was a lot. So, yeah,
Okay. You guys
but
you were comfortable with each other.
yeah. And I remember that was one of the things actually. I mean, it was my first love. So it was sort of like, but that was one of the things that I kind of was like, I want to go see the world. And like, I want to like, I'm 21 and I want to see what's out there. And, this is getting like, we're going to the bathroom with the door open. Like it just
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah. You're
lost,
like, this is
it lost
too much
its,
too
in,
soon. Not
it's,
too that's
yeah,
also kind of not sexy. Like, I don't wanna go to the yeah, I don't wanna I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know what
yeah,
I want. I would have to be, like,
yeah.
really in love with someone to
Yeah, I think a little bit of mystery. I don't know. I know Esther Perel talks about creating a little bit of that, you know.
Like
desire. Oh,
peeing
someone,
in front of
oh, that's
people is
funny. Someone
fine.
wrote maybe a step stool instead of a pedestal. That's really
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I would let, yeah. Or just like, I wonder if you can do it all at once, like kind of have almost like queen energy, like be sort of like that, like it's not on a, it's real. Like there's a sense of realness, but there's still a sense of like, you know,
Like unattainability
or
still.
just a sense
Yeah.
of not reverence, but a sense of like, I don't know, when you talk about like, like, I don't know, like spiritually, like this idea of like masculine, feminine energy and the feminine shining as like sort of the masculine holds the feminine. Everyone is can be many, many different energies. I mean, everyone has their own idea on this too, but there's like a sense of like shining, but not from a place of truth, not from a place of worship or a place of like superficiality or a place of like placing someone above, because there's always going to be the fall, but like a real
Yeah.
sense of like appreciation and
Right.
like,
So it's
yeah,
not like this. It's just like it's just genuine admiration and it doesn't have to
it's
be
like, yeah, it like
like this
breaks through the
person isn't
pedestal
real. Yeah, like so it's beyond the pedestal. Like you're a
beyond
human and I love you for your
you're
humanity and I see
you're
you fully.
yes, goddesses don't need to be put on a pedestal.
Do goddesses fart?
They do, and they come with their own built-in pedestal. So goddesses fart too. They fly.
The goddesses
They,
definitely fart,
their
poop, and
hair,
fly.
their hair sort of blows in the wind.
Well, yeah, it's all messy. Like, it's think about it. Like, we're all just like women are just like bloody and like, like
Yeah.
raw and like savage. And
Yes. And I feel like society has really sort of like tried to, you know, push that out.
yeah, and like,
And I
and
think women are,
anesthetize us and like make us
yes,
like clean and safe. But really, we're just like wild and
ashamed of,
dirty.
right, ashamed of that. Like, and that's
Yeah.
like the tragic part is like not fully being like feeling like you can fully embrace that. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's what kind of like your writing does. Like it's sort of like, you know, showing like this is all of me. This is like, this is, and that's what I try and do too. Like here's like this part of me like that's full of heart and love. And then here's another part of me that's like dirty and like, and that it's all of me.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely have like leaned into like exposing that, like, sort of the worst sides of myself or, worst or just the most human sides of myself, just almost to like for my own exercise in like, getting rid of shame, just being like, if everybody knows everything, then I don't have anything to hide, and no one can say anything about me, and I don't have to feel any
Yeah.
shame because it's all out there, and
I mean, I
so
remember when I first started, like it was so like putting something in that made people uncomfortable was like it was so liberating because I felt like I had been like the good girl, like I was an actress, which I wanted to ask you about, but I was like an actress in Hollywood going out for like the stupidest parts and I felt like I just wasn't who I was meant to be. And then I started writing and it was sort of like the tiger came out and it was just amazing to like just be gross and messy and say things that like people would be horrified by, or it just felt like purpose, like it felt like unraveling shame
mhm,
and
that's what it is.
shame that I had carried, and felt like I had to like hide and that I had to be perfect all the time. And it was like ripping that off was just so liberating.
Yeah, it's shame that doesn't even belong to us. It's just like internalized, other people's shit. It's
Yeah.
societal, it's generational, it's like yeah, so really I think what you do and what I do and the way we just expose all of these things that are supposed to be secrets is just kind of liberating other people from shame, which has become like addictive to me. In the beginning it was like so scary. I was like, people are gonna come to my house with pitchforks and I'm this is bad. Like I'm gonna lose
Right.
everything. And then it was kind of the opposite reaction. I was like very celebrated for being so open. But yeah, I mean, it's still scary. There's still people with pitchforks
Oh, for sure.
chasing
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. No, I
I,
know. I mean, I think that because I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of like trying to find my way back in again with this Substack. And I think that after writing the sex column for 6 years and then the Me Too movement and all of that, like I kind of was like, what's my identity? Am I like this sex columnist? Am I this actress? Am I like this survivor? Like, am I like what? And I think I needed to take a step back a little bit because I do think that as I was writing about sex, I felt like there was a performative aspect to me. Like I don't know, I felt like I just sort of wasn't fully not that we're ever the character when we write. Like, I feel like the character, who we write about, like, I feel like once you publish it, it's not entirely you. It's sort of like, I mean, at least I feel that way. It's sort of like takes on its own life.
it takes on its own
But
life based on people's interpretation of it, which is also a
exactly.
crazy thing because then you lose control of your own narrative, which is like, even though you're like, it's
Scary.
explicitly all there, you are releasing, this
Yeah.
thing into the
So
world that isn't
yeah.
really you in the end.
Totally. So I think that at times I sort of disassociated a little bit, like almost like my sex column at one point was far racier than my own sex life. Like it just became this like, I was like, I don't know who that is, but she's really fun to create. And
Yeah.
I mean, some of them were real stories, but I think that like, as I took a step back, now I kind of want to like integrate all of it. Like, so I'm like finding my way back in and with different topics and trying to keep some of that desire and I'm going to get more back into writing about sex, but from I think a slightly different angle from where I was before. I think before I was much more concerned about entertaining and even like titillating.
Yeah.
Then a lot of men followed me and really wanting to titillate or like, yeah, and impress or like be sort of sexy for them in some ways. And like, I feel like now I just want to be whole and
Yeah.
real. And
Well, you've
so,
also grown up a lot
yes,
since
I
then.
have.
Hang
I
on, I
have.
have to get my charger because last time I did a live, my phone died. So hang on.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
So, oh, this is fun. This is my first live. So thank you, everyone. Like,
Yay.
yay.
Oh my gosh, how do I do this? Why does this always happen? There's too much going on. Okay, so like
I
I'm
know.
wondering what you have been doing since because the Me Too thing, like you were a big part of the Harvey Weinstein thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So like sort of the genesis of the whole
Yeah.
movement. That's fucking intense.
Very
And
fucking intense.
I remember when that was all happening and I was sort of like, wow, because of course I have my own Me Too stories like every woman.
I mean, every woman does. Yeah. Yeah.
But and especially like in Hollywood and I was it was confronting because I was like, is this the time when I need to come out with this? But then the fear of like having that become my identity and I did decide to wait and I will write about a lot of that stuff in my book, but I just like it's just like how was that for you and how did you are you willing to talk about that?
Oh, totally. I
Like
mean,
how you
yeah.
decided to get involved and to be like let that be so public for you?
Yeah. Well, I decided to write about Harvey Weinstein in like 2000. Well, he had said to me, like, promise me you'll never write about me. So when someone says
When someone
to
says
a
that, you're like,
writer, it's
oh.
like, don't think of an elephant. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, okay, thanks for the pen and paper
Uh-huh.
and timer. So yeah, So one of my first stories for the Observer, formerly New York Observer, now Observer for the sex column, was actually a story about Harvey Weinstein. I didn't name him though. That was what was also interesting about my sex column was it wasn't just like about sex in terms of like great fun. It was also like intense stuff too.
About
And
sex, yeah,
about,
which
yeah,
is
all
everything.
about.
It runs the
It's
gamut.
right. It's power. It's like all sorts of things. It's love. It's power. And yeah, so I published the story about what happened with him, which I won't go into. People can read it. My name's Jasmine Lobe, Lobe, and it's all over the internet. But because also details are re-traumatizing for people, we didn't know that then. But I wrote that, and that was sort of, and then I didn't get much of a response, but all like reporters years later called me because they had read that story. And it's also interesting too, because it's like, I remember crying afterwards thinking like, there were a couple people who were like, oh, that's Harvey, right? Like boys will be boys. And it was just
Right.
like, oh, I thought maybe I could change something a little bit, in 2013. And it wasn't until 2017 that like people started calling me because they had read that. And I was like, you read that? And, sometimes you don't know that your work actually maybe does make a little bit of a difference, even though you
Yeah.
don't hear right away.
Yeah. You
So, yeah. And then because no one really cared then, I sort of, I didn't want to come out. Like, I was like, I had all these really great things happening. And I was like, why do I want my name associated with him? Like, I'll be on the
Mhm.
internet. People always associate, like, I
Yeah.
don't want that.
Yep.
But at a certain point, it felt like a calling. Like it was like, I can't let these other women stand up and not be a part of that. So
Mhm.
I did. And yeah, it was a long journey. It was very hard. It was really very challenging,
Yeah.
but I'm very, very proud of the work I did. Like that,
Yeah.
no matter what. Like
I
that
would
is
think
like, you know,
after
so
this time, like, yeah, like, fucking good for you. Obviously, like, I can't imagine not being proud of that making that choice. But I
totally.
how did that, like, affect your career? Like, when you stopped doing the sex column, like, where did you go? Where were you until now you're
Yeah.
reemerging? Like, what are you
Yeah.
emerging from? Reemerging from?
Totally. I'm gonna put this down a little bit because I feel like I'm, like, looking up. I
Hello, I'm
put
on
it
the
up.
pedestal. I'm
Right,
up
yes,
here on the
exactly. Yes, I'm,
pedestal.
like, looking up at you. Hold on, let's see if that's okay, that might be all right, there. How's that? Um, okay. Yeah, no, I was definitely, what was, yeah, what am I sort of emerging from? Yeah, so that lasted quite a long time, 2019, and like the conviction. And then I started writing a memoir during COVID. And working with an editor and went through a very internal time, I mean, like writing, when you really go into your whole life, it's
Uh,
intense. You're
yeah,
like
I've been working on my
reliving.
memoir for 2 years, and it's brutal
Yeah.
and very internal when I'm working on it.
Well, I had to actually put it aside. So I worked on it for like 4 years. And then I was like, I just need to take a step back, and then that's when I started about 6 months or 5 months ago, the Substack, which has been, yeah, so that's been really great. And yeah, so I would say that's sort of the memoir was really where I went those years, like really deep. And we'll see what ends up happening. But and you signed with an agent recently, or
Yeah, well, I
did I
actually
hear that?
signed with an agent 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in November. He's
Hmm.
amazing, and he's really been very, just really helpful in, like, shaping my literary career
Amazing,
and
amazing.
has helped me, immensely with my book proposal. So it has taken I guess it hasn't quite been 2 years, but yeah, we started working on the proposal together. Obviously I'm writing it, but he's a former book editor, so he's been very very
Wow.
acting, like helping me shape what the book
That's
is and like
incredible.
figure out what it is really. So I just finished the proposal like in May, and then we were gonna take it out, but then Manthropology started blowing up, so we decided to kind of wait and, like, see what
Oh,
happens, so
amazing. Tell me that's incredible and
now I think we're gonna
congratulations.
take it out in September, so
That's
I don't know. I'm like,
amazing.
should
Like,
I be saying anything? I don't know.
no, I think you
Yeah.
should. I think that's such an accomplishment because I'm, working on the proposal and it is hard. It is
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
so
not,
hard.
especially when you're trying to like figure out the theme, the spine of because it's like your life is the spine, but like what makes it
You
unique.
have to whittle it down into, like, just a very sharp, 1 or 2 themes of the story, and that is, like,
Right.
something
That's hard.
I didn't really
Right.
know
It's not
going
just
into
like,
this.
this is what happened to me when I was 6 and 7 and 8, and then it's
Yeah,
not a book
yeah.
it's not an autobiography or
It's
like a
not an
book report.
autobiography, it's a memoir, it should read like a novel, it should
Right, right.
be
Propel, have the story propel. That's the hard part, you know?
yeah, yeah.
But tell me about Manthropology. Like, I'd love to hear how that came about, and, I love the videos and, so yeah. How did that what was the sort of
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, when I started the Substack, I thought, "Oh, I'm writing for the girls," like, obviously,
Right.
because, like, we wanna read about each other's, like, sex lives. It's, like,
Yeah,
so
it's true.
interesting. It's girl talk. And then, I got all these, like, male followers, and I'd started, like, posting on TikTok to kind of, like, promote my Substack and my writing. And then it was just it became inundated with men, and I was like, "Ugh, what well, where why are all these guys here?" And I was
Yeah.
like they
Yeah,
were
no, I
very
know what
like,
you mean.
what color are your underwear?" And like, will you date me? Can you come to Colorado?" And so I will say everyone on Substack has really been like a true, like, fan of my writing, and it's been, like, a very respectful place, but, like,
Mm,
in all the other socials, I was just getting, like, inundated with so many men, which all the pretty girls are.
yeah, it's
Totally
true.
normal. But I was like, "Okay, I have all these male followers, like, I should do something with them."
Mm,
So I thought I should lean into it and create something for men. I should do like a man
ooh,
show. And then I
ooh.
thought, well, everyone wants to see themselves represented. So I'll just talk to men about being men, I guess, and just be like, I don't know, like, I don't understand this whole man thing. Can you like explain it to me? And, I'd actually gone really viral on Threads for saying, "Hey, men, why are you like this?" Like, I just, like,
Ooh,
wasn't thinking, I just, like, did it to be funny, think 'cause, "Why are you like this?" is in the zeitgeist, it's the
right,
thing
right.
people say, and I posted it, and then I, like, picked up my phone a couple hours later, had, like, 1,000,000 views. People
Oh
were
my god.
pissed. They were insane. They were so rabid about me asking that I was like, okay, well, I definitely tapped into something here.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
know.
yeah, I like made some videos kind of just on my own with this idea. And I had been doing a podcast and I was like, oh, this long form thing is really hard. Like, I would need more support. And then I was like, oh, it's really hard to make these videos. I need more support. But then a media company reached out and basically provided me with the support I needed to like make this
Incredible.
show. And it was very like kismet and it came to me and very magical. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to really make Manthropology, and then, yeah, after a
It's a
couple
great name too.
Thank you. Yeah, once I thought of the name, I was like, "Oh, I mean, duh, like, it's too
Yeah,
good of a name."
too
So,
good.
yeah, and then, like, a couple months in I've really only been doing this since February, but then it started to, like, go really viral on TikTok, and
Wow, I need to follow you on TikTok. I just follow you on Instagram Threads and Substack.
TikTok's the place to be, let me tell
I
you
know it's
guys.
fun. I have to say, like, what I love about TikTok is I feel like you actually get new followers. People are interested in what you have to say. Like, I feel like Instagram, a lot of it is like just the same followers.
Same. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Whereas TikTok,
Yeah.
people actually new people come, and and that's really fun.
The algorithm's totally different, so it, like, pushes you to, yeah, totally, new people that you don't know, and so it's outside of your circle, and it's very fun. Um, yeah, so
Yeah.
it's fun. I love making anthropology.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're really funny, and what some people say, and yeah, I want to
Crazy
praise.
shit.
What was the craziest thing that anyone has ever said to you on anthropology?
I mean, I'm like, where do I begin? Like, men just say men have always been saying crazy things to me my whole life. My interactions with men have always been so weird that I would like tell my friends a story and they would think I was like, embellishing. And I'm like, no, this is literally what this guy said to me. And they're like, oh, how could this be? So I don't know if that's just me or if it's a lot of women probably, and some people don't even like clock it.
Right.
But
Yeah. It's almost like, oh yeah, that's just how it is, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's the things that men say about women and their ages is really the thing that is sticking out to me the most lately, where I'm just
ooh,
like, wow, like men think women their own age are just so gross. Like so many men think that. And then I play tricks with them and then I'm like, well, how old do you think I am? And then I guess I'm in my
wow.
20s. And then I'm like, would you date me? And they're like, yes, I would. And then I'm like, I'm 42. And they're like, ooh, like their brains explode.
Like you're like a mummy or something. Like it's all
Yeah.
like,
I am a mummy. I'm a
yeah,
vampire.
yeah, vampire, zombie, mummy, all of them.
So that's been really interesting to really like
Yeah,
get
and and how
that.
do you think that like that can be changed? I do think that like I mean the new thing is like 40-year-olds or millennial 40-year-olds are like the new 20, everyone's saying, and 20-year-olds look like they're 40 because of all like the filler and everything like
Yeah,
that. I mean, I do think things are different now from
they are
when
changing.
40 was like 40 years ago or 30 years ago. We don't
So different.
smoke. Like, there's Botox if people want to do that. There's
Yeah.
help, we hydrate. We always have water bottles on us.
Yeah. We know things about like sleep and
Yeah.
hydration and
Yeah,
like,
exactly. We
just
have
taking
so many,
all the
we have
medical
all the face creams
treatment.
from TikTok. Like every
Yeah.
week, a different face cream.
I mean, I love getting older. My life only gets better and I just
Mm.
feel hotter and cooler and more successful. So I'm like, I don't see what the problem is, but I don't know. I think the men that are worth our time and energy also feel the same way about women getting older.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the ones who are like women my own age are gross are just not people we'd want to we don't care. We don't care about you. Like,
Right. Right.
cool, great. Then
They're part of what's it
tell more
called?
women.
The manosphere, like the Joe Rogan guys. Although now he's evidently changed his stance. But
The red pill bros who, yeah, they hate me. They're after me. They bully me.
do they really? Like, do
Yeah,
they come after you?
I get death threats every day. I
Wow.
stopped paying attention.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Because like everything about you like triggers them.
yeah.
Like
They're not.
your freedom, your beauty, your intelligence, not being, like married, like not having,
Mhm.
like everything is like, it's
Everything.
literally like a mirror and they're just like horrified
And they're like,
because you're so
stop
incredible.
asking questions. Stop it. Stop it.
Right. Stop
They're so mad that I'm exposing
existing.
these men.
Wow. Oh, that's so interesting. So did you start out as an actress or did I read that? Like you kind of
Uh,
somewhere?
I started as a model, like, as a kid. When I was 4, I did my first, like,
Ooh,
for Target.
that's that's so cute.
Yeah, yeah, and then I worked a lot as a kid. I was in Minneapolis, which has a big, advertising world. So it's like lots of Target,
Ooh.
lots of catalog stuff. And I did all of that all through my teens. And then when I came out to LA, I was like, modeling a little bit, like, but yeah,
What
kind of
what
got
what
more
brought
into
you what brought you out to LA?
music. I was like, I'm gonna be a rock star, and and
Were you a
then
singer or like a
yeah,
did you play something?
I I play piano and guitar, and I was a songwriter and
Oh, cool.
singer, and yeah, I mean, it kind of, it's the whole age old story of like, I got signed to Interscope and da, 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 nothing
Mm,
happened. And then I got signed to this other thing and then nothing happened. And then, I just bounced around from
yeah.
things almost exploding, to for many, many, many years. And then I did end up like on a TV show
Oh,
where I
wow.
was writing songs for the show, and then they cast me in the show. But I never was like an actress. Like I did some commercials, and I was like randomly cast on a TV series. Um, and I'm like, I guess I can act, but I would never. I don't like. All my bios are always like actress, model, but I'm like, I'm not. I mean, sure, okay, okay,
Right.
I'm an actress, sure.
But that's probably how you get cast because like I was like desperate to be hired as an actress, and I would bring that. Sometimes I'd bring that into the room. Like basically, the subtext would be like, "Please, please change my life and like make
Yeah.
things okay." And like and so that is when you don't care as much. Like people want you in that
Isn't
way.
it
Like they can
interesting how
feel
that
that.
works?
Yeah,
Because I was, like,
I know.
so desperate for my music career to take off, and it was just almost, like, repellent or something, and it would be so close. Like, I would come so close, but then something would happen and blah, 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 and then all the things that I just didn't really, like, try that hard, like like
Right.
like, Manthropology was a kind of a fluke, and now it's, like, doing really well, and, yeah, even, like, being on it like, getting my SAG card, I was like, "Oh, that's cool, thanks,
Right.
guys," like, and
Yeah.
even my writing career, which I am is really, really important to me, and I work really hard at, but, like, it started also, like, where I was just kind of, like, doing it as a secret experiment just to see what
Mm.
would happen, so I didn't really have any expectations at all, so
Yeah.
everything that came through was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing, okay."
Yeah. Wow. So wait, how did your writing career start? Like you just sort of and how did you start a Substack?
I started writing on a Substack, like,
Like
3
what inspired you to do that? Like what
I was, like, getting really sick of the music industry and getting sick of, like, not making money as a songwriter, like, working on huge projects and then not, like, getting paid
Mm,
because things weren't released or whatever, like, things so out of my control. And I was getting older and I was like, this is scary. Like I think I was 39, 38, 39. And I was like, this isn't good. Like, and I had to really think, like, what do I really, really, really want? Like, is this still my
mm,
dream? I was like, I don't even know if this is my dream anymore. Like, I'm so
mhm.
different. I'm sober now, blah, blah, blah. So I my really was like, okay, my real secret dream is to, like, write books and write about my life, but it
Mhm.
was so scary because it's so real and raw and vulnerable, and I didn't
Yeah.
hadn't exercised that muscle, and also I was like, "What if I suck?" Like, I know this is my secret dream, but, like, what if that gets squashed too? So it was like,
Mm.
I didn't
I
know if
had
I was
yeah.
good. I didn't know anything. I just was like so I started writing a Substack secretly, and it was under a different name,
Secretly. Oh wow, I love that.
and I didn't tell anybody, and I didn't show anyone, and then I noticed people were reading it and, like, leaving really nice feedback, and I was like, "That's weird. Is this a mistake?" Because it was so,
Right.
like, "How did they find me?" And then I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll take, like a workshop class," and then I got into a memoir writing class, and,
Mm.
like, the first day that I, like, read pages out loud, I saw everyone I
Mm,
saw the reaction. So I got like the performance, like live reaction where I was
yes.
like, wait a minute, this is something I might be good at this.
Yeah.
Like I might actually have something here. And then I like put my name on my Substack and started taking it more seriously. And it was just within a few months, I like was getting published and had an agent, and it took off so fast. Like all the doors just went. Psh. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Oh, I love that.
So
Yeah.
everybody just go do the thing that you're scared of.
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing to lose.
It's true. It's true. But it's scary jumping off the cliff, it's scary.
It was so scary. Oh my God.
Like it
Yeah.
was really scary for me to launch my Substack because I had sort of taken a break for so long from publicly writing. Like I continued to write the profiles on people in the arts for the Observer, and that was different. Like that was like I was able to focus on other people and celebrate other people, which was really nice to kind of take the focus off of me. But like I hadn't shared my writing with people in a really long time, except like an editor and a friend. And so I kind of lost a little bit of my confidence.
Hmm.
And it was like time. And I just started, and it's still like, there are stories. I have so much writing that I've already done. And it's
Hmm.
sort of like, which story do I put out there? Like, what's a little bit too much for me? What do I feel comfortable with at this point?
Yeah.
Like, some might have like there's this one story I'm thinking of that has like a lot of sex in it, and I'm just like how much
We want
or
that
is that
story.
yeah,
That's what we want. Put it out.
and it's like graphic,
I
and I'm like,
want
but it's
to know.
right, but it's also like yeah, but you can't control the narrative, and but yeah, I was gonna say it's hard, but
Yeah.
so yeah,
Are you still acting?
so sort of, not really, but basically what happened I stopped acting in my early 30s, and then I would say a couple years ago, I the friend was like, "Why don't you sort of start doing commercials and modeling and acting again?" And I thought, and back then, like you had to be a size two to, when I was like in my 20s modeling, I was always told to lose weight, but like now, like it's
I
different.
was told to lose weight.
I mean, it was insane. Like, size 4 and they're like, "Yeah, you need to lose like an inch off your hips." You know what I mean? And it's just like you feel so terrible and then even if you starve yourself, you can't be that thin because your bones are bigger. So, yeah, so I ended up finally saying, "You know what? All right, let me try this." And I started I did a short film like 2 years ago. That was just randomly. And then I've been trying out now for like commercials and, modeling things. I haven't been very successful thus far. Like it's
That
always like
feel triggering?
totally it was at first, totally triggering.
Yeah.
I felt like, "Oh my God," you know, like everything's the same except like 15 years has gone by. Like I'm still like slating like, "Hi, I'm Jasmine Lobe. This is my profile. These are my hands. And
Hmm.
here's my full circle." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. Like I'm a writer. Like this is," but
Yeah.
I've sort of I see it more as like a now just sort of something that I do, like a means to an end on some level. It's not as triggering for me anymore. Like it really was at first, but now it's sort of like I'm able to distance myself from it a little bit.
Mhm.
It does. I do think that it makes me a little bit more focused on like what I look like, oh, is that a line there? Because
Yeah.
that's the difference between getting a job and making money versus not. And that sucks. Like that's the part that like I wish that I was like being a writer is so amazing. You don't have to,
I
you could
know.
like look like total shit. Like you could be like in your pajamas and like not wash your hair for like days.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
no one
honestly,
knows if
because
you're like
yeah, I had
behind
a
a
minute where
computer.
I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I think I'm just gonna be a writer and I'm not gonna be in that I'll, create film and television, but I don't need to be on camera anymore. I don't need to be an entertainer anymore. I don't need that."
Right.
And then
Yes.
anthropology happened
Right. Yes.
accidentally, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, I'm on camera, like, every fucking day." And I'm
But
so
you're like meant for the camera. You know what I mean? Like,
but I'm
so,
definitely now, like, harder on myself because of it. I'm definitely, like,
mm,
looking like, what's
right.
going on here?"
Well, when you see yourself on video, you can't not. Like, you are seeing yourself. Whereas, like, when you're writing, you're just in another world. You're like in a whole, like, you're just in your brain and your head and your imagination, and you're like off somewhere else. Like, sometimes literally, I like if I have to go out afterwards after writing, I feel like I don't know, like I'm on drugs or something. Like,
Yeah, totally.
whoa,
I'm like, because I 'cause I'm in another
whoa.
time,
Yeah. Like you're like
another
in this, yeah.
world that's not this one, and I'm
Right.
weird, and I won't shower for days, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss the solitude of, like, working on my book and just not and having just that be my
Yeah.
thing, but
But
I
it's also, I have to
romanticize it
say
too.
that,
I was
yeah.
also like, "I wanna be doing projects that are big and in the world and collaborative and da da da," so, you know.
I have to say though, like when you're on camera and like it's fun. It's fun to like also meeting people, like talking to,
It
it's a
is so
community.
fun. It's
It's
so
really fun. So like when you put all of that stuff away, the judgment, it's community. Like I think as a writer, sometimes I can be very introverted. And so I forget how inspired I become when like talking to you right now, or, like
yeah.
otherwise I'd be like on my computer, just like in my little world,
Well,
but it's,
also,
yeah,
and, like, thank God for this, like, I just really have become less self-conscious as I get older, where I'm just like, I don't really give a shit, like, I look good enough, I look good enough,
right.
like, it's, like, fine, like, I feel
Yeah.
good about how I look, and I'm not gonna be as nitpicky as I was, like, in my 20s or even my
Mm,
30s, like, if I was doing this show then, I would've been, like, losing my mind in the edit, like, "But I don't look beautiful in that particular shot," and now I'm just like,
mm,
"I don't care." It's not about that, it's about the interview, it's about the interaction, it's not about how I look as much, so that's been kind of liberating, but, I still am like,
yeah.
"Oh, I have 6 shoots this month, I need to, like, not be bloated."
Right. Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, oh my God.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
what else? Everyone needs to read Jasmine's Substack. I love your Substack
Oh,
so much. Every time I read it, I'm like, "Oh, thank you.
oh,
This
I
is
feel
so
the same way about
satisfying."
you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been nice to get good feedback, and, it's sort of, I think someone, I, I basically, what was it, like a couple weeks ago, I wrote about my childhood dentist
Mhm.
who had basically, when I was at 16, in front of my father, said that I had a great ass. And like my father just like froze, and we all just like pretended it didn't happen, which was also like upsetting.
Yeah.
And years later, this dentist like dropped into my DMs. Like, I mean, I'm like, and he's like commenting on all my pictures. And like, so then he like writes me this whole thing about how like he can see that like he knows the real me, which is this beautiful, amazing person. But like, he knows that something happened to me. And
You're like,
that
"You're what happened. You're what
exactly. I know. I was infuriated. And at first I wasn't going to do anything, but then I had ChatGPT analyze his message like line by line. It was like all manipulation. It was all, and he had subscribed to my Substack. And I was like, fuck this. I published it. He read it. And then I blocked him on Instagram. And I have to say, I did that for my 16-year-old self, and it felt really good. And so like there are these like, empowering moments and like that and who would I never would have thought to like use ChatGPT to analyze, that. So
I love Chad."
if I didn't have a Substack, I wouldn't be doing that. So it kind of brings out the creativity in you.
Yeah, it really does. Oh my god, I love that too. There is something I've learned, and that is if you write about somebody, they're gonna find it. They're going to read it. they're
Yes.
going to read it. I did not think that was the case. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll never see this. Oh.
It gets
Somehow,
back to
some
them.
way, it will get to them. Always, 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 always. But that's
Yes.
actually
That's why
that's
the
part of the
disguise.
fun too.
How do you disguise people? Like, do you?
Don't do that good of a job of disguising people.
I don't either, but I'm
But
trying.
I'm not. Here's the thing. In my stories, I don't call people out. I also it's not about that. It's I if anything I make myself the villain. I take maybe too much
Mm,
responsibility, but I just that's kind of how I see things. Like I don't want to be the victim in my stories even if I
no,
am clearly the victim in the story.
right.
So I'm careful about that with like just not calling people out.
Yeah,
And yeah, when I do write about someone, I'll be like, "Oh, this happened with this guy and he was famous." I won't give enough detail where
no.
people they'll never know. They'll never know. Only my friends will know.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
totally. And that's what makes
Um,
good writing is like you have to be like totally honest.
yeah,
Like
like they're blurring
if
faces
you're
in the
the
story
victim,
because it's about me.
it's
It's my story. The story's about me. It's not about the other person. And it's gonna be different in my book, and that is something that I've been, like, going to therapy a lot for.
what do you mean it's going to be different in your book? Like it
Just
be
are people that I can't disguise them, like, I just can't.
Mm.
It's
Okay,
not.
I really want to talk about that because I have a lot of guilt and I like feel there are people that I want to write about that like it's hard to disguise and it holds me back at times. And it's really like I think I posted something on my Instagram today about like the most interesting thing. I'm just summarizing, but the most interesting things are basically the things that you don't want to say, the secrets, exposing the secrets. And that's
Yeah.
where the good writing is. And so I'd love to hear about like how you kind of, I mean, obviously you're exploring that in therapy, how you deal with that.
At the end of the day, the people that didn't protect me, I don't owe them protection,
Mm,
and that is easier said than done.
I think that's a really great response.
But it's what I just constantly come back to. And as I'm working on the book and as I'm writing and I'm saying all these things that I'm just, horrified by I don't think about the reality of it being in the world. I just live in the writing moment and just live in the story and just don't think about I mean, I never think about really my audience when I'm writing anyway. That's not what I'm doing it for, because that's how I
Hmm.
guess I prevent it from being performative. So I'm just like, this is the story. I'm getting it all out. And then, I'll send pages to my agent or whatever. And then I start to be like, oh God, like this is, am I allowed to talk? Like, am I allowed? And really, with my agent's always like, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. We're not
Right,
there right
right,
now.
right, right. Yeah.
There, but yeah, with my therapist, it's very like you don't owe anyone protection that didn't protect you.
Mm. See, for me, like in terms of my parents, like, my parents are amazing. Like they just were so loving and so supportive, but they also weren't perfect and they put a lot of pressure on me and so it's sort of like, you know, they're human, it's sort of like there's the good, the bad. And that's almost like sometimes I'm afraid if I write something bad, someone will only read the bad part and the good part, they'll only see them as bad. And I want to protect my parents. But it
Of
also
course, but it's
is
also not
important.
even like good or bad. It's just real and
Right.
human.
Yeah.
And, I think for most memoir writers, that is just always the struggle.
Hmm.
It's like wanting to protect other people because they didn't sign up for this, but like also I don't know. I'm estranged from most of my family, so
In
that
some
makes
ways,
it
that's like makes it easier.
it makes my job as a memoir writer like a billion times easier.
My
But
God.
but not
Right.
everyone. My dad is famous, and I cannot like disguise who he is, and
Your
you know,
dad's famous?
yeah, like even
Do we
the
know? Are you open about who he is or you'd
yeah,
rather?
I wrote about him in Vogue.
Wait, I didn't see
He
that.
didn't like it.
Wait, I want to read that. When did you write about it in Vogue?
Last year, I wrote
Okay, so I missed
something.
it. I didn't know you then. I'd love to see the link. Oh my God. Is what like
Just
what
Google my
genre?
name and
What
Vogue,
genre?
and it'll
Oh
come
my God.
up. I wrote a personal essay about, getting sober and having to go live with my rock star dad. And it's in Vogue, and my father was not stoked. And I don't think I even said anything
Yeah.
bad about him, but he was sensitive about it. He's like, "Oh, is that the thing you wrote where you said I don't eat vegetables?"
I love that that's like the thing that, that he's worried about.
Wait, someone's saying the sound went out.
Oh, did the sound go out?
Can someone tell us if we have sound? Can you hear us?
Hello. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah. All right. Well,
Let's
no one's
see.
saying anything, so maybe.
Yeah. Huh. Maybe it went out just like temporarily. I'm in New York and there's like traffic outside. So like there's like beeping and honking and people are like cursing. Like it's really great out there. So,
That's fun.
you know,
We have to hang out next week.
I know I'm so excited. So what days are you here from?
The 4th through the 9th
Amazing.
for
Amazing.
this
Amazing.
trip, but then I'll be back again soon. But let's get together.
I would love that. I would
Yeah.
love that. I know. I know. I feel like we have so much to talk about. Like
So much,
I know.
so much to talk about. So much.
So much to talk about. I know.
And now that I've blonde, we
We
really
get like really, like now we really have a lot to talk about.
we have more to talk about. We have even more in common.
Like I can tell you where I get my hair done. I have a great
Yeah, I have
colorist.
the best guy in LA if you ever need someone here.
Amazing. I have the best woman in New York. Like literally, she's incredible.
So
Great
good.
hairstylist.
See, I love being a girl. We can like get into all this heavy, deep shit, and then we're like, and
I
then
know.
my hair.
I know. I'm a Leo rising. I don't
Me
know if you're
too.
into. You're Leo rising?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. We're all about hair.
Yeah.
In the
I
sense that Leos are lions
yeah.
and lions have manes, evidently. And I'm very attached. I am very attached to my hair because a couple summers ago, I was using this like weird, like blow drying thing on my hair. And I also got it like, highlighted way too close together. And I started getting breakage.
Oh, I have
And
had
it was
all my hair
horrifying.
ripped off the top of my head from bleaching it too
Oh my God.
much.
Yeah. And it was like, I was like, I have so many issues. Like, but this was my one thing that I didn't have an issue with. You know what I mean? My hair. And then my hair was an issue too. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, it's back. It's back. So
It's bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's still a
It's
little
back.
wet, but it's back.
Yeah. It's good.
You
It's
know?
exciting. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to have long blonde hair. I feel like a Barbie.
Yeah. I mean, I love, yeah, it's long hair is great. Um,
um,
Short hair's great too, but it's fun to have long hair,
it is.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to run.
Yeah, I know. I looked, it's like been an hour and 10 minutes. It's amazing. I love this.
No, I
We
love
have to
this
do
too
this
because I
again.
really could keep talking. We should definitely do this
I,
again.
I know.
And
Yeah.
well, yeah, we'll definitely do this again. I love
Yeah.
doing
It was really
live.
fun. Yeah. No, this is my first live. So it's
I'm so
very,
going your first live.
I know. I
I
know.
caught you live, Cherry.
You did. How many have you done?
I mean, I've done a couple lives with Jerry Stahl, the
Okay.
iconic, legendary writer Jerry Stahl, and with you, and that's it
Amazing.
so far. So
Feel so honored.
I love it. We got to keep doing it.
Yeah. And then I guess I've read that we can save this as
There's
well.
a video, so I guess it's going to send me a video. You can tell me if it sends to you too, and if not, I'll send it to you, and whatever. We'll figure it out.
I might actually, if you're okay with this, I might use this as my post for this
You
week
should,
because
yeah, you
I
should.
honestly like it's hard for me to do a weekly. Like it's really like
Real,
yeah, and
legit.
like it's legit. And like if it was like so and I don't want to like put out like, publish something that isn't like, that's subpar. So it's sort of I don't know, but maybe it's good to sometimes even publish something that isn't, your finest. I don't know. How do you feel about
Because
that?
I
Like,
post every Saturday, I just post every Saturday. It's
right.
not always my
Whether,
finest work. I mean, I'll be
okay.
honest with you. Sometimes I'm like, "I fucking nailed it this week," and sometimes I'm like, "Ooh," like, but I just
Right.
do it
No,
because
you're right.
it's
Yeah.
my people expect it from me now, so
Yeah. No, I mean, that's one thing is I'm not like, I'm not weekly, like, I can consistent. So I need to get
But
consistent.
it's a
That's
good,
sort of,
like we were talking about in the beginning, it's a good exercise in like not being a perfectionist and just like being
yeah,
loose. And this is supposed to be loose and experimental and free, I
right.
think.
Right. It doesn't have
So
to be like, I don't know, Paris Review, New Yorker, like
you can do whatever
quality
you want it to
edited, like
be.
every week.
And yeah, well, definitely, you should definitely put this out as a post, and I will
Yeah, I'll
too.
do that.
So
Amazing.
yeah,
Well, I'm
but
so excited to
I
see you
love
next
talking to
week.
you,
I
and I
know
hope
this
to
was
see
so
you next
fun.
week.
Amazing. And thank you everyone who joined
Yeah,
us.
thanks for being here, guys.
Maybe next time we'll open up to questions. I guess
Oh,
that's what
that's fun.
people.
We should totally do like an
Yeah, we
ask
should
us
do like,
anything.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
So,
It's a great idea.
so see
Jasmine,
you
you're so
next week.
smart.
Oh,
All right,
you're so
girl.
smart. Okay, so I just pushed the X button. That's it, right?
I'm gonna
Instead
end
of
it. I'm gonna end it
okay,
all. I'm
you
gonna end
end
it
it.
now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.